Welcome to the show, 316-462-3673. That's the number to call the dial in for each and every caller. And guess what, Nick? You get to do it again. Did it once. Can you do it twice in a row? What do you get for each and every caller calling in the show? Anything ailing your car, tires, brakes, batteries. You want to talk about anything in the racing world? You want to talk about anything in the automobile world? You want to talk about Salt City? You want to talk about the new contract? Whatever it is, you get a great price package about over $130 for each and every caller. And as always, Nick, what is it?
The works package: oil change, tire rotation, multi-point inspection. You get a BG products package, MOA and 44K. You get a nitrogen fill for your tires. You get $10 in Ford Pass rewards, and you get $10 for Mel's Diner, so you can get you something to eat or drink while you're here getting your vehicle serviced.
All right, 316-462-3673. That comes into the front desk. Tell the girls you want to get patched in the podcast, and we'll get your message going. Sorry about that technical difficulty, but let's revert back. We talked about Salt City Racing. We got our 3-year contract on Tuesday, which was huge, and it is signed. We actually signed that day. I didn't think we'd get to sign that day, but we did, which was good from that part. So glad we got to sign, and the bottom one's getting running out there. Okay. So anyway, yes, 3-year contract, which is huge. We got our dates locked in for next year. Nick, you want to throw those back up there real quick?
Yep.
And so you can see the dates we're going to race. There's only a couple classes so far. On May 9th, we know it's going to be a late model and sprint car race. And then also the USAC race on July 18th and 19th. That's the only 2 races we definitely have locked in what we're going to do, because on May 10th, the same URSS late models and sprints will be at Dodge City as a back-to-back race. And then, of course, the Silver Crown race on July 18th and 19th. So anyway, stay tuned to Salt City Racing, saltcityracingllc.com for any updates and that kind of stuff too. Of course, I'm not sure we'll be live this Wednesday or not with any more updates. We might not have any new updates to talk about, so we'll talk about that too, maybe, or we'll post something after, let you know if we're going to go live on Wednesday talking about that too. So again, anything ailing your car, tires, brakes, batteries, you want to talk about this new contract, whatever it is, let's go. So we've had a lot of meetings this week talking about different stuff going on. Kyler was in town yesterday, and we sat down with him and made some more plans going forward for next year, working with some different sponsors and stuff too. We're going to be hot on the trail to have a great, successful next year and 2 years from there. And hopefully then we'll even get longer contracts after that from that part too. So. From that part. So if you got any questions or comments, put it in the chat line, or if you want to get this great prize package, 316-462-3673, and we'll take your calls and answer any questions you might have too. So anyway, our banquet is tonight at the Kansas State Fairgrounds at the 1861 Club.
Yep.
So if you haven't got your ticket spot or whatever, jump on saltcityracingllc.com, get your ticket spot. I guess you can do it at the door if you want to too from that part.
Yep. We'll have it available at the door.
So we'll be over there early this afternoon getting things set up. If you haven't been in that 1861 Club, it is a cool venue. So it'll be a fun night over there to reward our drivers and all the crew and everybody to help us put that racetrack on last year. Will be fun too. So don't miss it. So anyway, Nick, what's over there rolling in the chat line? So
people talking about the 3-year contract. 3 years can be 30 years if attendance keeps up. That's right. We need to keep packing those grandstands and keep showing the fair that we want to keep racing.
Yeah.
You boys have put a lot of work in to make that happen. Yes. A lot of work is an understatement, let me tell you. How about some mini stock rear wheel only? Potentially.
Here
I'm hoping to come out there a couple of times next year for filming the events and in-car videos.
Okay. Anyway, real quick, we missed up on not getting out. We were talking about it, but sad news yesterday. Longtime racer Rick Salem passed away suddenly yesterday morning. Sorry for him and his family. Prayers to his family and everybody out there. Rick, a longtime lover of sprint car racing. I know his son is an avid sprint car racer too. I hope his son will keep racing. I'm sure he will. But sorry for the racing world out there to lose a great gentleman, Rick Salem, from that part. You were just texting with him about an hour before it happened too, right?
Mm-hmm.
So sorry about Rick Salem. Prayers and everybody to his family. It is sad news in the racing world to lose such a great, avid lover and racer out there in the world.
Yeah, he did a lot. He contributed a lot to the racing world around here. You know, he founded the URSS United Rebel Sprint Series, and as you know, Kyler Fetters is now running that series. But Rick has always stayed very close and always been a excuse me, a major part of that series. And He's definitely going to be missed. It's not going to be the racetrack's not going to be the same without him. That's for sure.
Well, and Kyler was making plans for Rick to run several more of the races for him on the URSS sprint cars next year. So we'll have to. I think that was really in the works and very close to being done before this happened yesterday too. So again, prayers and condolences out to the Salem family and in this troubling time and from that part. So. Anyway, 316-462-3673. Anything ailing your car, tires, brakes, batteries. What this show is really about, but it sounds like we want to talk more about racing, which is fine and dandy with me. We can talk about racing all the time too from that part. But if you do have something ailing your car, we'd love to hear from you to get your questions, and we'll get you that great price package and sent out for over $130. Or if you want to talk about some of the things going on at Salt City Racing, we can talk about that too. Yep. So a couple of things in the contract that we can talk about too is we're going to pit back over on the west side, which is huge. We got a way we're going to put our parts trailer over there behind the grandstands and run the fencing across clear over to that Bison building. So we have that whole section over there to pit through. Worked out a great deal with the fair board. I will tell you that it was great. Brian and I and Nick have really built our relationship good over there and working very well with Brian. The ad hoc committee we had of the 4 board members and stuff. We had a great first meeting was a little tough, but of course it was supposed to be tough, right? And worked through a lot of good stuff in that contract.
Yeah, we did. So I think I think we're in good shape, and we're racing for 3 more years and beyond. So,
yeah. So talking to a lot of different sanctioning bodies yet still. Phone calls are still coming in. We've had some meetings with some other different sanctioning bodies too. That's why on that dates, we have not put any other sanctioning bodies or what we're racing there yet till we get everything dialed in from that part of what we're going to race over there and how we're going to race it and stuff too. So, lots of things in the works, a lot of things happening. I'm glad we got to pick the dates we got to pick. Last year's, if you remember, we did not get to pick those dates, and we had to race on some dates that I didn't feel comfortable with. Kyler didn't feel comfortable with, and you didn't feel comfortable with racing, but that's the only dates we had available. So getting out of the gate this early should be a much more deal, and from that part. So anyway, like I said, we're talking to a lot of sanctioned bodies, not just 1 or 2, but a lot. It was kind of fun on the way to Hutch that day for the last deal. I had 2 sanctioned bodies call me, and then we were in a meeting with another sanctioned body on Thursday, and a couple more phone calls. Some other ones came into us that are all excited to come run that big half mile there at Hutch. And that's the other question is, what are we going to do? It's going to stay half mile. We're not cutting it down at all. I think that's the right thing to do right now. Not saying that isn't something we can talk about in the near future of cutting it down or whatever from that part too. I guess the other thing to talk about too is there's some exciting stuff. I guess there's some construction work going in east of the racetrack, and guess what they need to get rid of?
Dirt.
A lot of dirt. And so they've talked to us about whether we want that dirt or not. And of course, you know what I said? Yes, we need some dirt. That dirt there at the fairgrounds, I call it wore out dirt.
Yeah, it's kind of wore out.
It's kind of wore out. So we need to, so it'll be good, but it's not going to probably be new dirt for this year, for 2025. It's probably the way the dirt gets hauled in there, then we work it in through the winter of next year and be on some new dirt on 2026. But I'm going to tell you, Kyler and his crew over there have done a great job with that racetrack. We learned a lot from Mike Van Ginder when he came in, taught us how to prep that track and stuff too. And of course, I don't think anybody could have had a better track than we had at the Salt City race, at the USAC race.
No, those, Kyler's crew that he brings that preps that racetrack every week, man, they do a phenomenal job. And I mean, we just couldn't do it without those guys for sure.
No. So anyway, I see a lot in the chat lines about different sanction bodies, and I will tell you, we've talked to everyone that's out there that could possibly come and race, even flat track motorcycles. I know some people talked about that too. We've talked to monster trucks. We've talked to demo derby people too. So there's a lot of things in the works. Just know that in the background, we're doing a lot of things to keep that racetrack alive in Hutch and keep racing for many, many years from 100%. That part.
100%.
So anyway, trying to make sure I got all my chat line caught up too. I think I got everything there too. So, hey, anybody want to get on the phone, 316-462-3673 and get a great price package? Love to hear from you on that part too, to talk about that part from that standpoint. So, and again, I don't know if we left off on the banquet tonight at 6 o'clock. If you haven't got your tickets bought, Salt City Racing LLC, grab your tickets and get them bought before you get over there. Carrie and Charlie's going to have a great meal for us and stuff. We got some great trophies and plaques to hand out and reward all of our drivers, especially our perfect attendance drivers and the top 10 in points to acknowledge those in those classes and stuff from that part. So it'll be a fun time over to 1861 Club in Hutch this afternoon.
Pretty excited. Pretty excited. When we get done here, we're going to get everything loaded up and get ready to head over there, and it's going to be a good day.
All right. So if we need to switch over to talking about something broke on your car, I guess we can. But if you want to keep talking about racing, we can talk about that too. From that part, but that's what this show was designed to do, was to call and fix your car. Anything you didn't like or ailing your car, whatever, we could do that. So get your phones ringing. I'd love to give away some prize packages. It's kind of fun to give those away, not to give any away. So
Kyle Weens just commented on the chat line. He says, excited for the banquet tonight, ready for another great year and more 3-wide finishes. So that finish, that one sport mod race that we had,
that was fun. That was awesome, wasn't it?
Where, yeah, it was. I can't remember what the split was, but 2 of the 3 tied at .000.
Oh, I
Second
know.
and third tied.
Well, when this race was over, I was down there by the scales, and Weens pulled up there, and he didn't know he'd won yet.
Yeah.
Yes, he didn't know. I mean, it was that close of a race, and I had to show him on my race pass that he was a winner. So that was he was pretty pumped, which I don't blame him. Winning a race like that, I mean, it was crazy. Green, white, checkered, and here those 3 guys come. Any one of the 3 could have won that race.
Yeah.
And how it showed up or whatever, I just the luck of the draw. So who had the best traction, I guess.
Who was there at the end? Yeah.
Who have come off that turn forward, because they come off that 4-3 wide. And I thought, oh man, I was scared to death they were all gonna crash and burn, but they did. They all went right across there.
Yeah.
And had some great pictures of that stuff too. So that was a fun time, and from that part too. And again, the USAC race, I mean, there couldn't have been a better racetrack. I think that racetrack could have won another 50 laps.
Oh yeah, easily.
That part. So
Kyler's on. Good morning, guys.
Kyler, call in here, buddy. Didn't know if you'd be up and around this early. You had a big concert last night you went to. So if you want to come in and chime in and jump on what's going new at Dodge City Raceway Park, love to hear from you. So jump in here, Kyler. 316-462-3673 comes in the front desk. Tell the girls you want to get patched in the podcast, and we'll get you patched in here and get you on the phone with us today. And
Jeremy has a 2011 F-250 with a Triton. Transmission does not go into reverse right away, and it can take up to 5 minutes, and then it hits real hard. And then it shifts fine until it gets to overdrive, and it hits real hard if you don't let off the throttle.
2011, Jeremy, it's time to trade, is what I'm telling you.
Yep. Time to trade.
That's what I'm telling you.
Trade her up.
So anyway, I wasn't listening. I was looking at my chat line here because Dylan Chambers is getting a little sassy over here. Thinks he's going to hear a karaoke out of me. Not happening, buddy. There's not enough booze there to help get me singing. I can promise you that.
Tyler and I have tried everything on earth to get Nightingale to do karaoke.
No, not happening.
We've just decided it's not possible.
Okay, the transmission doesn't go into reverse right away. It can take up to 5 minutes, and then it hits real hard. Then it shifts far. First thing is, Jeremy, I hope you check the fluid level, because that's exactly what that sounds like. The fluid level is a little low from that part. Does it do it going into first gear like it does in reverse gear? Because most those transmissions have the same gear first and reverse. I'm curious about that. That'll tell me a little bit more where I'm headed with your car from that part. Okay. Yeah.
Just put a new motor in it.
Yeah, I got that. Well, that could be something too there from that part. But I'd like to know if it goes going in the first or it just doesn't go in the second. Oh, hey, we got a caller. And got 2 sitting here. Okay, so let's get Michael in here, see what Michael's got to talk about here real quick. And Jason Cox, hang tight. We'll get through you and get going on that too. So from that part. So we'll get sorry, I wasn't paying attention to my phone very well here. So we'll get them into here. And let's get Michael on the phone here real quick and see what's on Michael's mind. And so it's just reverse. So you've got, if it's just reverse and you've got something internally in that transmission that's doing that, like a seal or something. But I hope you've checked the fluid level just to make sure the fluid level is okay on that, Jeremy. If not, I think you've got a little bit of a clutch pack issue going on from that part. And here we go. Michael, you're live with Under the Hood. Go ahead. How are you doing, Michael?
I'm doing good, Phil. Thanks for taking my call. I enjoy the show. Just a quick question for you. Maybe it's simple for you guys, but my wife's 2018 Explorer Sport tires are wearing out on that, and I'd really appreciate your recommendation on to what type tire or particular model tire I should go with on that.
Very good call, Mike. What I'll tell you is what I love about what we have here to offer you is we have 17 different models of tires to help you with. Okay. When you go to a tire store, you're going to get maybe 2 or 3 options to choose from that part. So we've got about everything available that you can choose from. But where everybody makes the mistake on tires is they just want to get the right size, but you got to get the right load rating and the right speed rating that matches that car for how the car was designed and done. But I'm going to tell you, I am a big Michelin fan of tires. That's my personal preference, and especially on that sport, that would be a great tire to put on there, in my opinion. Now, sometimes the Michelin's a little more expensive than other tires and stuff like that too. So that's where we can give you a good, better, best option of tires. And who knows, when we look at there's once we get the right speed rating and load rating, there's also a wear rating on tires too. And look what that wear rating is. We might find out that the Goodyear's a good tire. We might find out the BFG might be a good tire. Continental's another good tire out there too that might be a good tire to put on that car also. So lots of options to look at, but I'm telling you, anytime that I can put a Michelin on a car that's got the right application, that's my choice from that part. But again,
I value that, and I've had good luck with Michelin as well. So good. I'm scheduled to go down for service. I'll let the boys look at it, and I'll talk to them and see what the best recommendation is on Michelin and Continental. We'll go from there. But I really appreciate your opinion.
No problem at all, Mike. Thanks for calling, and you need some help when you get down there, need some opinions on that, I'll come down there and help you with it, okay?
Great. Thanks, Phil. Appreciate you.
Mike, have a great day, buddy.
You too. Bye now.
Okay, we got another caller coming in. Let's get Jason through. You get Jason through, and Kyler, hang tight, buddy. We'll get you through here shortly as soon as we can get Jason Cox on the phone, see what's on Jason's mind, and then we'll get Kyler on the phone here and get it going, and we'll get an update coming on what's going on at Dodge City Raceway Park. Here we go.
Dodge City.
Jason, you're live with Under the Hood. Go ahead.
Morning, guys. Happy Saturday.
It is a great Saturday, right?
Morning.
How's everything with you, buddy?
So my question is, I noticed I'm good. So I have a 2015 Ford F-150, and I noticed the other night that something was dripping underneath of it, and I thought it was oil. So yesterday morning, I get underneath it and notice that there's water coming from the muffler, but somebody told me, well, that's normal, but why would you have condensation coming from the muffler?
Well, great question, and I got a great answer for you. Is every time you start your motor, just the way the fuel goes in, the way it burns and stuff, it makes condensation. That's why they have that hole in the muffler to get that water out of there so it doesn't rust that muffler out. But that's where, if you do a bunch of short trips and you don't let that engine warm up good and boil that water out of it, it ends up in the bottom of the oil pan, and that's where our sludge starts very quickly from short stops and visits. But that stuff ends up in the exhaust. It's just a normal thing that an internal combustion engine does, and it develops that condensation, and they have that little drain hole in there to get that water out of there. And it used to blow me away. I used to live in Hutch, and I drive back and forth every day, 45 minutes or 50 minutes or whatever. And so you'd think every bit of that condensation would boil out, but every morning when I back out of my garage, I'd have a trail of water follow me out of it. That's just what happens with these internal combustion engines. They make that condensation up and got to get it out of there. So that's why you're seeing that. It's a normal situation. I can't tell you how many times over my years I've had people call me and say, I got this black stuff in my driveway, and go over there. What that is, that's just the black carbon and stuff that goes through the exhaust, and the condensation coming out turns black.
Yep.
So kind of a normal
Well,
deal.
first I thought it was oil. And
yeah.
First I thought it was oil leaking. I thought it can't be. But then, like I said, when I got underneath it, I see where it was coming from. So I thought, okay, well, maybe this isn't not as serious as I thought it was.
Yeah, no, it's crazy that how much water. And like I said, if you do a bunch of short trips and you don't run that engine at least 15 minutes, especially in the wintertime, that condensation will end up in the bottom of the oil pan. And that's exactly where our sludge starts to happen from that part. So like I said, that's just a normal thing. Nothing you do to change it whatsoever. It's just always going to do that with the humidity that's in the air and everything else too.
Good to know. I appreciate your time, guys.
Nope, you all. Jason, have a great day. Thanks for the call. Great question, though. I can promise you that.
Thank you.
Thanks, buddy. Have a great day. All right, we're going to get Kyler on the phone here next.
Kyler Fetters.
Get an update on Dodge City Raceway Park. He's got a lot of exciting stuff coming new for 2025 also, so we'll get some updates with him and from that part. So here comes Kyler. Morning, Kyler. How are you doing, buddy?
Good. How are you guys?
Well, just hanging out, taking some phone calls, having some fun on the show this morning. And Nick decided to just go ahead and put Salt City out there. So we're getting a lot of questions about racing stuff. So it's good you're calling in, and we can give the listeners an update on Dodge City Raceway Park and all the stuff. You got a lot of stuff coming up new next year, buddy.
Yeah. And after last night, I'm getting a call from Jake Paul's group, and I think I'm going to do a Jake Paul fight at Dodge City. He went through Tyson. He got through Tyson last night, so now I think I'm going to
So
try
now
to
he's
take
got to get
Jake
through
Paul.
Fetters.
Now he's got to get through me. I'm thinking more like May or June. Give me 6-7 months to train, get to back to my fighting weight. But
I don't
think it'll
know.
be a good thing.
We were in a sales meeting this morning too, and I loved that girl fight. That was pretty cool and stuff there too. But I don't know how everybody else felt, but I was pretty disappointed in that fight of Tyson and Paul's. I told everybody, shoot, I think I could have run around that ring for 2 minutes at a time and take a punch for 20 million. You know
Well,
what I mean?
yeah, no kidding. I think Tyson threw like 28 punches or something, and I'm like, give me my inhaler, and I'm good for about 35 seconds each round.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So,
Yeah.
but anyway, hey,
Anyway,
so update everybody what's new for Kyler and his crew for Dodge City and all your stuff, because you got a lot of new stuff coming up that's going to be fun and exciting out there at Dodge City for sure.
Yeah, no, hey, it's going to be a great year. We're going to start off the season April 5th with the high limit sprint cars. Y'all might have heard of them.
Yeah, I'm afraid I have. A little jealous on that one, but that's okay.
Yeah. No, we're excited about that. And I kind of wish we would have had a show before that to start the season, but go big or go home, I guess. So looking forward to having them guys come. I think we're going to look at having a practice the week before, trying to make sure the track's all good to go. We are bringing some dirt in over the winter time, doing some track maintenance, working on some concession stands, beer gardens, looking at moving some beer coolers around. Just doing a lot of housekeeping stuff that keeps the place updated and ready to go. As far as classes go, done some talking. I think we're going to look at bringing the late models and the sprint cars in weekly. So yeah,
kind of like that.
Your 5 classes at Dodge City weekly will be the URSS sprint cars or DCRP sprint cars, the Rebel late models, and then modified sport mods and hobby stocks. We're opting to not go with stock cars weekly this year, just because the car counts have been down in the last couple of years, and they're down across the board. You know, Hayes has lower numbers. Dodge has lower numbers. You know, we are still going to look at putting a few shows out there for them guys, but some of those guys have switched over to the late models anyway. But I think that's going to give us 5 premier classes each night. And, with our ticket prices as cheap as they are, I think everybody's going to be really excited to get a good bang for their buck with those classes. So looking forward to that. And then looking forward to helping out at Salt City again with our crew. We've got some big shows. One of the shows that we're looking at, Keith Kuntz is bringing in his KKN Give Back Challenge to Dodge City, May 15th, 16th, and 17th. So you're looking at over 200 entries of micros and midgets that weekend. So that's like a $90,000 purse for that deal. So if you haven't seen one of the Keith Kuntz Give Backs, those are some awesome races, and be some big names there running with that as well. Also bringing back the big late model race with the Garmin Memorial. We had over 38 entries last year. Now that we're fine tuning some of the late model rules, I think we're going to look at excess of 40 to 50 cars for the late models. And and just some other things we're not prepared to release yet. But some big sanctioning bodies still coming in, and looking forward to being able to release that here soon.
Exciting times at Dodge City, exciting times at Salt City. It's going to be a fun year of racing, that's for sure. And earlier, Kyler, on the show, before I think you got on there, we talked about Rick Salem, the void we're going to have to fill with losing him and everything else yesterday. Tough deal. Again, apologies and condolences to his family and stuff, but that's going to be a pretty hard void to fill. You know what I mean?
That's for sure. Rick had always been my mentor. I've been with Rick for, I'll tell you a fun little story real quick though. So I met Rick years and years ago, and I was just kind of helping him out in the pits and doing a few things. And he got into a spat with the flagman. He had a flagman at that point, and he got mad enough, and he says, "Well, you're fired." He said, "You can't fire me. I quit." So, so Rick turns around, and looks at me, he goes, "Well, now what do we do?" He says, "You want to flag?" I said, "I've never flagged before." He says, "Well,"
Looks like
he
you're gonna
says,
start.
"Well, get up there." And I said, "Do you have flags?" And the flagman goes, "I'll sell you my flags for $250. And I said, "I happen to have some." So I started flagging at lacrosse one night for him, and I flagged for a couple of seasons.
Got a video of that? You doing it for the first time by chance? I might need that.
And I'll tell you, it was sprint cars at lacrosse on a little bull ring. And then a funny thing, we were a few years later, you know, I was kind of Rick's all around guy. And then he got into a little spat with an announcer. So seems to be kind of a pattern with Rick, you know, getting into spat. And he tells the announcer, "Well, you're fired." And the announcer says, "No, I'm not fired. I quit." And Rick goes, "You know anything about announcing?" And I said, "No, I don't know anything about announcing."
There you go. Learn tonight,
"Well,
right?
So then I announced for Rick, I think for almost 10, 12 years, and did Racing Boys, and then yeah, it has been great now to kind of come full circle to owning the URSS and Rick being my mentor, and then you know, Rick retiring, and then this year Rick says, "Kyler, I'm bored." And I said, "Well, do you want to run a late model series?" And he didn't know nothing about late models. He said, "I've always been intrigued by him, but I'll learn." And I'll tell you what, he did a great job, and all the drivers respected him. He was honestly one hell of a flipping race director, because he knew how to make a good show, and he knew how to get the drivers to respect him.
Yeah,
And
very true.
I think that's something that I'm going to take with me for a long time. And it is a sad thing, but I know Rick's going to be watching down over us, and you know, just give us that extra little help when we need it from time to time. Hopefully he'll keep some of the rain away.
Yeah, there you go. That's what he can do. Make it rain every bit except for right where the race starts and right ends, right?
That's right.
That's it.
You know, I was also talking to his son races, and I sure hope he keeps racing and stuff. And I don't know if you know any insight on that or whatever, Kyler, but I hope he does keep racing. But I'm sure he will, won't he?
Yeah, you know, I sure hope so, because I'll tell you, Rick was always so excited to be done so he could help Chad out. You know, for years he helped Cody, his other boy. And I'll tell you what, Cody's one hell of a sprint car driver too. But life just got in there, and so Cody don't race anymore, but he started helping Chad, and you know, Chad's got the will and the want to do it. And so Chad was going to take this season off, and Rick's like, "Yeah, this the season I could finally help him. He's going to take the season off." Well, John Lachelle stepped up and said, "Hey, I got a car." And he's like, if Chad to drive it, Rick helped. So I don't know if you ever seen that night at Salt City when I get a phone call. This is kind of funny. I get a phone call, and they said, "Hey, one of your sprint car guys lost their wing out by Albert, Kansas." I said, "Oh shit, what's the number on it?" He told me the number. Lachelle was running a little late to the track, and when they get there, they had to borrow a wing from somebody.
Like I said, that wing wasn't any usable after that, was it? Couldn't have been.
I don't know, but the guy picked it up. He's like, "What do we do?" I said, "Well, strap it on your roof or something. We're gonna need it." And anyway, they got a borrowed wing, and Rick and his crew worked their butts off that night. Rick says, "I've never worked so hard at a racetrack for the last 20 years. But you know what? He said, "I wouldn't have it any other way."
Yep.
And they struggled a little bit with the car, and they finally got it running good. So I hope that John and Chad keep that going, that partnership, because I know Rick will be looking down, giving them as much support as he can from up above. You know,
yep.
He just was a good dude.
Yep, I agree. So anyway, going to be a hard void to fill. I know you'll figure out somebody to help you there, Kyler. Feeling as you need somebody to run those sprint cars for you and stuff too, but I'm sure you'll find somebody that can fill in that spot and move forward and keep racing alive at Dodge City, and also got to keep the Salt City one going too, right? So
that's it.
Kyler, what else is new for 2025 for Dodge City that you can announce? Anything else you've got? coming up your sleeve?
You know, right now, that's about it. We've got the high limits, the KKM, and, you know, I'm still waiting to get a contract back from Jake Paul to see if that's going to go down. But if not, maybe we can find somebody else for me to fight.
I tell you what, Kyler, you and I can just get a ring. I'll just do it for $1 million. I don't need the 20. I just need one. I'll do it for one. I'll run around the ring and you see if you can catch me.
Well, I'll tell you what, we can do that. Yeah, speaking of something else that was kind of funny when you talk about running around a ring and trying to catch it. We did this up in Oberlin one time. This was Rick's idea. Kind of getting on a Rick story here again, but he asked me. He said, "We got to do something to make this race fun." It was his dad's memorial race, and I go, "What do you think?" And he goes, well, "I think I'm going to get a couple chickens." I said, "What?" He goes, "I'm going to get a couple chickens." And he said, "The sprint car guys are going to go out. They're going to make a lap. They're going to get out of their race car, run to this pin, and they got to pick this chicken up. And that's when the qualifying time will stop." And he did it. And it was the funniest thing. And I can remember Ray Seaman. He gets out and he makes his lap. And he gets out. And he's chasing this damn chicken. And I don't know if you've ever tried to chase a chicken, but after that point, I think the chicken still had fresh legs when Ray went out there. Because Ray had a hell of a time catching this chicken.
That's fine.
But maybe we need to look at having that chicken qualifying race again some point.
Just for Rick. Just for Rick. Yeah, that could be.
And, you know, he also got me arrested one night. We had rat races at my bar for a fundraiser.
Rat
then
races.
come to find out, yeah, we had rat races. We had the banquet at Bootleggers when I had my bar, and we did it as a fundraiser for the Steve King Foundation. And we had these real racing rats. This group
real
came down
racing rats.
real rats, and it was kind of fun because they came down out of Nebraska, and they had these rats, and you put them on a board, and you went and you bet on them like horse racing, okay? But it was kind of it wasn't really, it was
real
them, but it
racing
was
rats.
Yes.
Real rats. And then what was funny is, so it was a way to donate to the foundation, the Steve King Foundation. I mean, you only won a little portion of your money back, but the money just kind of went to the foundation. It was just a fun thing to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that was all fine and dandy until the next week when ABC came in there, handcuffed me and took me to jail for rat racing, because it's illegal to do commercial gambling like that in a bar. And I didn't quite understand the purpose of it, but I called Rick and he goes, "What are you doing?" I said, "Well, they arrested me for these rat races." He said, "Oh shit, are they coming to Oberlin next?" I said, "No." I said, "They're pretty content with taking me down here." And he said, "Oh shit." He goes,
"Wow.
I'll send the letters to the big house."
Send you letters.
Oh my god.
So anyway, we got off all that deal, but it cost me quite a bit of money to get off of rat racing. But I can say
real. Hey, let's get it really qualified. They're real rat racing.
Real rats.
They were real rats, and they were on this board, and it was just pretty cool. But the funniest part is the next week at the restaurant, I had the Lions Club come in for their weekly dinner, and I found these chicken on a sticks, and it was a big joke about having rat races at the bar anyway. And they said, "Well, what are we eating today?" And I said, "Well, boys, we're having rat on a stick." And it was actually chicken. But the Lions Club thought we had to do something with all them rats that we were racing. So they had chicken on a stick.
Gosh.
That's chicken on a stick.
No, it was a lot of fun. I could go on and on with stories about Rick, but we'll talk about some of those tonight at the banquet. There's a bunch of them. But
yeah.
No, he's going to be missed for sure, and I sure hate it. And you know, I was glad I was up here with you guys yesterday when that all went down, because you guys, you know, kind of helped me get through some of that. And,
yeah, tough deal there, buddy.
But yeah, no, it is for sure. And we'll just pray for Chad and Cody and Brenda and Diane and all them. And we'll darn sure have a toast for him tonight.
That's true. That's what we need to do for sure. Well, anyway, Kyler, get rested up. I got another caller. Need to jump on the line here real quick. Got some chat lines to answer up. I'm glad you got to chime in here and talk about Dodge City and what's coming up new. And again, once again, celebrate tonight the first year at Salt City Racing. But we got 3 more to go. And thank you for the friendship. Thank you for the partnership. It's fantastic, and the way we work together and how we can't wait to see where we take these 2 racetracks.
100%.
Yep, I appreciate you guys.
All right, buddy. We'll see you here later this afternoon.
You bet. Have a good one.
Thanks, Kyler. All right, just get Matt in here next and see what's on Matt's mind. I think I got an idea what's on Matt's mind. We'll get him in here real quick. We need to back up the chat line here real quick, and we need to go back up and Thomas Bowen, 2007 Edge, was running down the fine, and then a headlight started surging like a police lights then, and next thing you know, it shut down and won't start. I still bet what happened there, Thomas, is you lost an alternator. And when the alternator went out, it just ran the battery down super, super low. And it's very possible. Matt, hang on just real second, real quick, Matt, okay? And what's real possible there, Thomas, is I'll bet you that you might have also maybe blown a fusible link or something, but I bet you're going to need to get a battery and an alternator on that car, but that's what's happened on your 07 Ford Edge. So anyway, Matt, thanks for hanging on there. We were having some good stories with Kyler Fetters and talking about the great Rick Salem. So it took a little longer to call. So thanks for hanging out there, hanging on tight with us for a little bit while we were talking to Kyler about Rick Salem. So anyway,
not
Matt,
a problem. Yeah.
how's everything with you,
I
buddy?
just want to pass. Everything's good with me. Yeah. I just want to pass on my condolences, to Rick. He was a great guy, great ambassador for, the 305 sprint car racing, getting it in the field, getting it in, the state of Kansas. And he built that thing out of nothing. And he was just a great guy. But let me tell you what, the reason I'm calling is I am ecstatic about your 3-year contract. Securing a 3-year deal with the Kansas State Fair, that's a big win on your guys' part. That makes it 4 years in a row you guys get to go racing at Salt City.
Yeah, it's going to be fun, Matt. And we've been doing a lot of things in the background, a lot of things working on. We got our dates for 2025, but Nick and I and Kyler have been working very hard with a lot of different sanction bodies. That's why we've only got 2 races so far locked in. We know what we're going to race, but Nick and Kyler and I are going to be working hard with these sanction bodies to bring some more exciting races and stuff to the Salt City, and just excited for what's going to happen for the next 3 years.
Yeah, it should be a lot of fun. I mean, getting a 3-year contract, and now we can, now I think the racers have something they can plan for years into the future, and it's going to be exciting to see it all unfold.
Yep.
Exactly. And the fact that, Salina's moving to Saturday nights now makes it a lot more easier for guys like me to make my trip down to Hutch and check you guys out a little bit more. And if you guys haven't got an announcer yet, I know a guy that might be interested. So.
I think I heard that. I heard that too. So we might be calling you, Matt, see what's going on there too. We'll see how things go. Kyler's, in charge of all that with us running the racetrack. I'm not sure where we're at with everybody. We're going to have to add a few employees this year for a couple different spots and stuff too, for what we've talked about. So still a lot of things working out, and I hope we have some things dialed in here in the next, I would say 30, 60 days, a little tighter in where we're going to be and stuff too. So.
Yeah, I had a good idea, that you guys are talking about some different races for modified stuff like that. I thought a twin 25 would be good, where you do the heat races and then do a modified feature at the very beginning of the features, and then run your other 2 or 3 features, and then run another 25 modified feature. Just invert the field at the other end of that, and do a twin 25 for a Freedom 50 or something like that. But
I tell you, I love the pit stops. We did one out at Dodge City this last summer, and it was a blast. I mean, a blast I had. Trying to decide what we're going to do, not do, all that kind of stuff. So that is a good idea, Matt. That's not a bad idea at all. I know. I don't know if I'd rather just have a 5-minute or a 10-minute break in between the 25s and go again.
Right.
I don't know.
Phil, when we did that pit stop, I think Phil thought it was like NASCAR. I think he thought we had to get it done in 14 seconds. We really had 5 minutes.
I think it'd be interesting if the drivers had to drive 25 laps and get out and add their own fuel and at least change one tire and get back in the car and go back and race.
I don't know if you just listened to what Kyler was talking about there earlier. He was talking about how they had a sprint car deal. You had to qualify. If you qualified, then you had to get out of your sprint car and chase a chicken. And when you grab the chicken, that's when your time stops. So I don't have to get a couple chickens running around. Maybe, I don't know.
That'd be fun watching. That'd be fun watching Jake run down the racetrack trying to get chicken.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it would be a blast, wouldn't it? It'd be entertaining. That is for sure.
Definitely entertaining.
That is for sure. Would be entertaining.
We're gonna get Phil to chase the chicken.
Nope. Not me.
Now the other thing I was going to talk about is I see there's a blue late model in the picture. What are we going to be doing with the late model this year? Is there any plans?
Oh yeah,
We're gonna be racing it.
we're going to be racing it. That's sure. The yes, we did. Team 3J did buy a late model over the winter. We'd done over the winter, over the fall, I should say. And so we're in the works of getting that thing put together, and hopefully in a couple of weeks we'll have a car ready to go for who knows when we're going to first race it or whatever we're going to do, Matt. But yes, Team 3J is going to run a late model. We are still going to run the mod. The mod is going through its not quite a complete teardown inspection for the winter like we normally would do. We tore it down kind of part way and stuff too, but we're going to race both cars and from that part for going for Team 3J, that's for sure.
That'll be fun and exciting. Is there going to be a stacker involved with that?
You know, we're trying to
Oh,
figure
no.
out still how we're going to haul everything. We ain't figured that out yet. I would tell you, last night I was on the texting with one of my guys I buy a lot of my trailers from, talking to him about what to do and how to do it and that kind of thing too. So, you know, there's going to be times when he can race the mod and the late model at the same track, especially Dodge City. It sounds like we're going to be out there quite a bit with Kyler running the late models and sprints on a weekly basis from that part too. So let's figure out how to haul these things. We don't right now. We have no way to haul the late model. If you want to know the truth, have
Right.
no way at all.
We're still trying to figure it out.
We're trying to figure. The car is in Manhattan, is where it's at right now, and getting all done up. Sent out to West Virginia. Is that where that's at? Or
Yeah, it came from West Virginia. It came from Rocket. It came right off of the Rocket One team. So
yeah, so cars
That's
there.
awesome. So
Chase
I'm
Young.
guessing Chase Young hands. Yep.
Yeah, Chase is putting it together for us, and man, I tell you, Chase is a great guy. I mean, really got a great relationship with him and stuff, and talking to him, and he's just a phone call away all the time or a text away, and that's he's been a gem to work with. Can't wait to see where he takes us with this late model. That's for sure.
Yeah, he's a very good competitor. You know, very nice gentleman. Growing up with Chase and Grant, unfortunately, we lost him. You know, Grant was a heck of a nice guy, very quiet, but when he had something to say, he said it. You know, and Chase is kind of the same way. You know, he's really quiet. You know, but he's got something to say, he's going to say it. And he's, like you said, he's always a phone call away anytime you need help for anything. So he's a good guy to work with, and he definitely knows his stuff. You know, he's not a force to be reckoned with on the racetrack, but he is, you know, a top 10 car every time he shows up. You know, so I just don't think he's got the seat time that some of these other guys had, and if he had them, you know, the ability to travel, you know, 100 nights a year like some of these other guys do, you know, that he'd be a lot better. But seat time is everything, and
well, he's pretty good.
Yeah,
He's won some big races.
Yeah, he won the Humboldt deal over there at Humboldt, 10,000 to win. So, like I said, he's a top 10 car anytime he shows up at a racetrack, you know, and they don't slack on nothing over there. It's a top-notch shop. You can almost eat off their floor inside there. So,
yeah, super late model racing at that level is very competitive. So, we know
exactly.
Yeah.
So, all right,
Matt. Thanks for the call, buddy. Got a couple more check lines to get here, so appreciate the call and excited for just like you are for 3 years more at Salt City Racing. It's going to be fun and blast. I promise you that. So,
all right, and we hope to see you over at Swan Speedway some this year too.
Oh yeah, you will. Don't worry about that. That Saturday night, be right there with us, so we'll be there. Hopefully, Chuck can have some late models there too. We bring that late model over and run it around too.
Yeah, I saw there's a 2-day show, April 25th and 26th for the Revival Late Model Series, and then I think I saw the URSS is bringing the sprint cars and late models this year too. So.
Yeah, we'll probably be there on the 26th or the 25th, I believe, is our race at Hutch.
It is.
Yeah, so we race the 25th at Hutch. So then the 26th, we don't have our schedule yet for the late model put out there yet, where we're going to go. So we'll probably be there on the 26th with late model, probably.
All right, sounds good.
Matt, have a great day, buddy.
All right, you too.
See you, man. Bye. All right, running out of time here a little bit, and let's see. I can't read that word up there, Brian. I'm going to use Brian. 2018 Chevy Malibu. Sometimes when I'm driving, it feels like it's catching in the front wheel drive, but feels like it's catching in the rear wheel end. Man, I'm not sure. Brian, what that is or whatever, but love to take a look at it for you and figure that out. I'm just trying to figure out what that could be or whatever. Feels like it's catching in the front wheel, but then in the rear too. I mean, we're just going to have to ride with you a little bit, Brian, to try to figure that out. What's going on there with that part too. So, what's Daryl got there, Nick?
I have a 2018 Nissan Versa. Every time I put my foot on the gas pedal, it sounds like when I drive the highway on Centerline on the.
Oh, so it's.
I'm not really understanding there.
Well, I think what he's talking about is he's getting a fluttering noise. It's like he's hitting the bumps on the side of the road.
Yeah.
I don't know. Again, Daryl, we're going to have to listen to that one too and ride with you and try to figure that one out. And I don't need more information from that part. Wish you had more time to take your call, but we're running out of time on that side of the coin too. So,
Jim Petty, greetings, gentlemen. Looking forward to tonight. So are we.
Yep.
Dallas is excited for the late model.
Is he? That's good. Well, I hate to tell you, Dallas, so are we. It's going to be fun and exciting to see where we go with that car and everything else too. So, won't be from a lack of effort, will it, Nick?
No.
So, anyway, okay. So I think we got to everything kind of caught up there. We do. So, anyway, everybody, it's exciting time at Salt City Racing again. 3 more years to race over there. It was great to be over there at the Fair Board meeting on Tuesday. Everybody was excited, I believe. We voted 13-0 for 3 more year contract.
Yep.
So we're going to have fun over there at Salt City. Stay tuned for more updates. I doubt we will have a live update on Wednesday because there's nothing really to report. We'll be keeping you abreast when we'll go live again with more updates. And probably the next updates really is going to be what races will have what sanctioning bodies at them as we move forward from that part. Okay, Brian brings in there. It's the front wheel drive. It feels like it's catching in the rear end. Brian, I need to ride with you, or we'll have one of my guys ride with you and kind of figure that out. I just don't quite know what could that be. One of the first things that comes to my mind, maybe it's a wheel bearing that's getting noisy or something on it too. That pipe, Brian. But if you want to call into the store and set up an appointment, we'll get one of our guys to ride with you. At least we can get a kind of a halfway diagnosis, knowing what's going on with it. But I think the sooner the better before something really goes drastic on that car for you from that part too. So anyway, everybody, it's fun and exciting for racing in Hutchinson. So excited for that. Nick, we got the banquet tonight. Going to be fun there to reward our drivers for 2024, kick off 2025, have some fun. Any last closing comments or anything?
Just get out if you haven't got your banquet tickets yet. You can get online, Salt City Racing LLC, get your banquet tickets bought, or at this point, buy them at the door. $25 for adults and $15 for kids.
All right, everybody, have a great Saturday, and pretty sure we'll just talk to you next Saturday at 9 o'clock Under the Hood Show. Josh should be back, I hope. I don't know. Maybe he's not back. I don't know. We'll figure it out. If he's not, Nick will hang out with me again. I know that. So,
yeah.
No live show Wednesday for Salt City. We won't have much to report, so we won't go anything live there on that part. We'll be live again. We'll get on the Facebook page and like the Salt City Racing so you keep update on all the updates and everything else going on that part so you don't miss out anything that we're going to do because we'll post early enough when we're going to go live again from that part. Again, everybody, thank you for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Have a great Saturday, and we will talk to you next Saturday at 9 o'clock.
Okay. Have fun.